Ladies and gentlemen, there has been a discussion, a heated discussion, a hot topic amongst gamers for quite some time now, and that is the difficulty slider and accessibility, and trying to compare difficulty to accessibility, and somehow claiming that putting in an easy mode makes the game more accessible to other gamers. And the other side of the argument is how putting in an easy mode, it ruins the experience. It changes the developer's, I guess, vision of what the game might be, and whatever, regardless of whatever side you're on, I don't agree, disagree, whatever. We have a couple of games that come out recently that make me, I don't know, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about these quote unquote accessibility modes, and that has to do with actual phobias, real world phobias. In this article from Game Rant, Thalassophobia mode in Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores DLC explained. So I'm not going to read too much into it because I want to get on. I want to get into the meat and potatoes of what I wanted to talk about. But what is thalassophobia? If you didn't know, it has something to do with being out in open waters. I can definitely relate to that. Thank you, Subnautica. Although swimming is a fairly ubiquitous skill, many people may feel uncomfortable swimming in extremely large bodies of waters, especially if the floor is so far away it can't even be seen. Now, I can understand that. I have a unrealistic, unnatural fear of large bodies of open water. Thank you, Jaws, watching that as a child. Good Lord. But this is a video game. I mean, sure. Is your phobia that deeply rooted that you just can't overcome it in a video game? Like you're looking at it on a screen. Can you not watch movies where there's underwater action? 50 Feet Down, I believe, is one of them. Trying to watch that, I mean, does that affect you? And one question on one hand, what's becoming of gamers nowadays? But then again, at the other hand, it's like, sure, it doesn't affect my gameplay, so why do I care? It's more of a curiosity question, because it's a video game. How are you being triggered that hard and heavy? Which leads to the next one. Star Wars Jedi Survivor has an arachnophobia toggle that lets you remove spiders altogether. Now that I disagree with, because that's in the game. That's the game itself. You're actually changing the dynamics of the game. And I guess the whole, thalassophobia thing, whatever they're doing to reduce it. I mean, there's levels in the game where you go underwater. Maybe I could understand if you're in VR or you're in first person, but Horizon Forbidden West is a third-person video game, right? Did I miss something? So how is it being triggered that hard? Same thing, I guess, with Jedi Survivor. It's a bit different because you see the spiders. Arachnophobia deals with you seeing the spiders on screen. Oh, just don't play the game. If you're afraid of spiders that much, don't play the game. Don't play Hogwarts Legacy. Don't play Grounded. Don't play the games that are going to make you wet yourself. What on earth would they change the spiders to? Personally, I think if you have a phobia and you want to do something to try and combat that phobia, a video game is the perfect environment, because quite nothing is going to happen to you, but you want to dumb down the game so that you can play all the rest of it. I don't know. Like, for me, Subnautica is absolutely terrifying at times. The atmosphere in the game, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I can't get enough of it. This is a game that I ultimately want to play in VR eventually. But there's other things. What's going to happen to the rest of the horror genre as a whole? We have Alien Isolation. What's going to happen to that? You're going to turn the alien into a big old teddy bear? I bought this game when it came out. I played it for a couple of hours and then returned it because it scared the crap out of me. Another one, Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, and the first one, I dropped a good bit of money on the VR version of Five Nights at Freddy's. Played it, didn't get through the first night in VR, and have not touched it since. Why? Because it terrified the ever-loving hell out of me. Do I expect Five Nights at Freddy's to put in some sort of toggle in it so it's not so scary? No, because that's the premise of the game. What's going to happen to games like Resident Evil and Five Nights at Freddy's, Alien Isolation, Subnautica, when you have game developers or gamers in general looking for easy modes, allowing their fears to get the better of them? I would think, like I said before, I would think a video game is the absolute best method of overcoming your fears, because there is no danger. You go into it slowly, but again, like I said, my brain is taking me in two different directions, and I'm not really sure which one I land on, because again, developers, game studios, they want everyone to play their games. So you make little changes here and there to allow more and more people to play your game, but what sort of an effect is that going to have on the game itself? The arachnophobia toggle. I personally think it'll be fun to watch those gameplays when the spiders aren't spiders. But what's going to happen to the future of gaming? More and more easy modes, journalist modes. You know, who knows? Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I being a little too ridiculous? I don't know where I stand on this, like I said, but let me know what you think in the comments. I appreciate you making it this far. Leave a like, leave a dislike. I will see you on the next one. What's going to happen to the horror genre?